Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Swire. You can also call me the promo guy. My guest today is Amy Lin, opulent coach. Welcome to the show, Amy.
Hi everybody. Hi Swire. Thanks for having me.
Would you mind to give viewer a quick bio? I know that to find your personal journey, you actually jump through fire and jump off from an airplane to be able to find the code that you're looking for. Can you touch on that also?
Yes, absolutely. So my personal development journey started around 4 years ago. And at the time, I wanted to find myself. And so I just became a seminar junkie and I went to different seminars. So I'm sure a lot of audience have heard of Tony Robbins. So he has this thing where he has you walk on fire. So I did that, and I think I was hooked on it. I realized what I was capable of. So not only I walked on fire, I actually swallow fire.
Wow.
I jumped off from a 5-story building pole, and I also jump off airplane. So in the past few years, I've just been doing that, and I really want to test the limit of my own personal limitation. I guess you could say that. So I've been through a lot.
Does it really help? Like after you overcome your fear, does it really bring you to another level that you can see yourself?
Yes, however, for that period of time. So okay. Only for that period of time, because after you come back, I'm back to my old self, right? So old habits die hard. And this is why I'm so passionate about what I teach, because I teach a system where I can show people to really wire in their subconscious mind. So when they work with me, they actually change, not just temporarily, but permanently.
Okay. And I know one of your teaching, for a client is, 95% is the mindset and only 5% is the strategy. Can you let us know why it's such a big importance in focusing on the mindset?
Absolutely. So I think the word mindset gets thrown away a lot. People talk about mindset. Mindset is not just about positive thinking. It's not. It's more than that. It's the ability to think what you want to think. So, and I say that that's a success formula. And 95% is mindset. The reason being because if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're both right. Right? So majority of us, especially entrepreneurs, we're always so focused on the strategy, the social media, marketing, Facebook ads, right? That is important for sure, but it's only 5%, because if your mindset is not right, so if you're thinking, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. If you come in with that mindset and then you use the strategy, it's not going to work because you already thinking that it won't work for you. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that. I want to give you a quick example, which you talk about. At 7 a.m. this morning, I found out that, my internet is out, for my area. So I prepared for the show, wanted to have the conversation with you, Amy, but then I was kind of stressed and I'm not able to have that conversation with Amy, but then nothing happened yet. It's at 7, we got email from the provider saying that it will be fixed at 9:30. So, but, when us human being, I think about what's not going to happen and what's going to be, we're not going to be able to do the show, today I had to reschedule, things like that, what am I going to do? But then around 8:45, it's fixed and all is well. So it hasn't happened yet, but what I'm going on in my head that kind of, messes you up sometime.
Exactly. Oh my God. I love that you brought this up. And I think it's divine timing for it to happen. Because when I got the email from you, first reaction is, oh, okay, that's interesting, right? But because I am in this work and I've been doing it for so long, my first reaction was, oh, no worries. The universe will take care of it just in time. And I was just in gratitude. I said, I visualized myself having a conversation with you just like this in my mind. And I give thanks to the universe and said, it's done. No, nothing to worry about. It's all going to be said and done by the time we come on. And guess what happened? You emailed me saying everything is fixed. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. I knew it. Yeah. But you brought up such a good point, Swire, is that we're conditioned to think about the worst case scenario, right? In our mind. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, we can also think about what could go right? Everything could go right too. So, but we're so conditioned to go down that route, the rabbit hole, I call it, the worst case scenario. So instead of that, we think about the best case scenario.
Yeah, but I think the more higher up you are in your business journey, if you're an executive, you're actually being paid to be worried, right? We always think about the worst scenario, whatever business ventures that we're about to enter in, how could it not happen? What could go wrong? So yeah, I think at a certain element, it helpful because you run all the scenario in your head, but then like you said, at the end, you do need to believe that it's going to work. If not, you won't be able to you won't be doing it.
Exactly. So you made a good point, is that we can use that to think about, oh, what would go wrong? However, we don't want to get emotionally involved with it. That's the important part.
Okay.
Because whatever we get emotionally involved with it, we attract into our life. That's law of attraction.
Would you be able to share some client success story, how they're able to change their mindset and they can go to the next level?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll share the recent story of my client. Her name is Jenny, and she has a vegetarian restaurant locally in California. So last year when I was working with her, I asked her what her goal was, and she said that she wanted to have a second store. But at that time, the business wasn't doing that well, right? But I was just like, don't think about that. Just think about what is it that you want, okay? So then finally, actually after a year during COVID, she actually started up her second business. And the best part is it was all free, because during COVID situation, a lot of businesses were shutting down. So the landlord actually provided them with a space and remodeling for free.
Wow.
And now she's telling me, she's like, wow, I can't believe it. Like when we first set the goal, I couldn't see how that was going to happen. But it happened, and it happened exactly better than what I can imagine. And exactly, you just have to keep your mindset right on what you want. Focus on what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe in that. As we were talking before the show, I told you I like fitness, right? So a lot of what I've learned is you got to visualize. Maybe you cannot do the task today, but visualize what your muscle parts needs to be involved, or how you need to develop yourself, be able to do those tasks that you're trying to do right now. So I think visualizing it, the good and bad, are important to achieve your goals.
Absolutely. Athletes do visualization all the time, right? They don't even actually practice. They can just visualize in their mind, because the reason is because our subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's imagined and what's really happening. That's the power we can tap into. So you can literally visualizing you're winning, or a deal going through exactly how you want it to be. So yes.
Yeah, I always surprise and envy the people, when I go to networking, right? We can talk casually, me and them, but then when they are on stage, they turn themselves on to become another person. So they are a magnet with, hundreds of people. So they can turn to be normal people, but then when they turn it on, they could be this big, motivational speaker that people are seeking out and listening to.
Yes, we can all do that. We can all tap into that. We all have infinite potential within us. We just have to turn it on.
Yeah, I like the next topic that you put. What is the one thing you wish everyone knows about? Is that a secret for success that we should know about?
Yes, again, it ties into your mindset, which is we really become what we think about. Have you ever heard that term before, Swire? We become what we think about.
Yeah, I do believe that. Yes.
Yes. Right. I mean, everyone that I talk to, they all believe it. Right. But then, very interesting enough, the second question I ask them is, so what have you been thinking about? Have you been thinking about what you want, or have you been thinking about what you don't want? And majority, they always say, oh, I've been thinking about what could go wrong, what I don't want versus what I want.
And I think because, right now, the pandemic affect a lot of us, but then I think another way to look at it too is, now some of the available resources, or, a lot of people have got burned with the bridges, Now, either you move forward with what you think you always want to do, or you're not doing anything, then you are affecting by everything around us. So I talked to a business formation attorney. Actually, the number of new business who are started since the pandemic has skyrocketed.
Yes.
People are turning their side hustle, their side business into their main business now, and a lot of them are actually more happy because they don't have to do the 9 to 5 that they get paid, but then they're not really doing something that they're passionate about. Now they might be taking less money initially, but then they're doing something that they love and want to do all the time.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I always tell clients is that follow your passion, right? Not only I say that, I think Steve Jobs, he said that same thing, right? You want to be following your passion, right? Rather than doing something that you don't love, right? And just put in the time, right? So, and everything, when everything happens, there's always good and bad, right? There's both sides to something, right? Even the pandemic, are there bad things? Yes, but on the other hand, there are so many good things coming out from it as well. And one of the example is people are starting to do what they love, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I know that your title is opulent coach, and then can you tell the viewer what opulency is and how can you teach people about the concept?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So the word opulence, it means the ability to think lavishly, freely, abundantly, with no restriction. And it's really a state of mind where it's having an abundance of wealth, full of richness. Like it's just so extravagant, right? But when I talk about wealth, it's not just money. So opulence is not just about money. It's more than that. It's actually, there's three parts involved. So number one is material things. So money is one. Second thing is intellectually, your thoughts, right? Number three is spirituality. Is to finding out who you really are and what's your purpose on this planet. So to be able to live an opulent life, it starts again in the mind. You have to be able to think freely, like with no restriction. If you can have anything in the world, you can do anything. What would you love to do? So that's why I love the word opulence, is to really get people to think freely with no restriction.
But putting it into perspective, like kind of the situation that we're in right now. So obviously, in the outside world, there's a lot of distraction, and there's a lot of sad news that we're reading. So how would you encourage us, while dealing with what's going on externally, internally, then we can still think about our goal and then trying to achieve that goal?
Absolutely. Okay. So environment is huge. The environment you're in really affects you, honestly, right? However, we have to learn how to stay in control of us and not let the outside control us. Okay. And it's a skill. It needs to be learned. So first thing I would say is to stop watching the news. I,
Yes,
that's
yes,
my
agree.
opinion. I don't watch the news, but of course, it's not to be ignorant. Of course, you got to be informed, right? But you don't want to consume yourself over and over again of the negative news. It's not helping, right? That's first thing. Second thing is, since we cannot go outside, this is the perfect timing to go within. So what do I mean by go within? To really plan what is it that you want, right? What kind of life you want to live in, right? So I think right now it gives us the perfect timing to pause and said, okay, our lives have been shaken, right? Are been shaken to wake up a little bit. But now it's a perfect time, a perfect space to think about what would you love? What do you want to create, right? So that's what I mean by go within, to think in your mind. What is it that you want?
I like that, because, put it into perspective, maybe not in the exact way, but executives sometimes pay a lot of money to go to a retreat where they can spend quiet time, in a quiet space to think about what they will do next. Right now, we might not have those available resources that we have. We do have the silence and then the distraction, because you couldn't go out and party, you couldn't go to event, so you might be inside of your home, and then you could think about a lot of things. So maybe it's a good time for us to reflect, and then obviously to think about what the next step we should take, or Like I give the example before, maybe that's really a side hustle that you think you really like to do, and people can see that. If you do certain things that you're passionate about, people will get attracted to it. We don't want our product made from a factory. I think we can all point out that it's something that is well made, something that made with love, people call it.
Mhm.
And you can attract different type of client that are related to your product.
Yes, it's the energy behind what you do, right? If you're passionate about what you do, if you're creative, right? If you're an artist or anything, when you create something, you're in a good vibration, right? You're feeling good, and that gets transmitted to other people, and they will feel it too. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah, let's jump on a real quick example. We all seen and read about the Bernie Mittens, right? It's become a meme that go on social media. So
Oh.
I actually found out the story. The mittens were given to Bernice by a teacher in Vermont. Her name is Jen Ellis. So she actually handmade the mittens and sent it to him with recycled material. So what she's doing, and it's very admirable that she's doing it, she actually created two more pairs, handmade. And now she's supporting a nonprofit. Those
Mhm.
mittens, if you guys want to look right now, they're going on sale on eBay right now. One is going for about $2,000. One is going about $4,000. All the proceeds are going to the nonprofit. So they're able to think, we have a difficult times, right? But there is a opportunity that we could do on, and actually she's doing good to help other people. So there are really a lot of things that, we can do right now. And, if you think that you are getting shut down and, all the doors are shut, then you be that way. But then if you think outside the box, like Amy, you're suggesting, then you will see other opportunities that might not be available to you before, just because you're thinking it in a different way.
Absolutely. You're totally right. It's all about perception. And whatever we give our energy to will grow, right? So if you keep on looking at the problem, you're going to have more problem. But if you just change your perception and focus on the good thing about out of it, then you're going to attract more good things from that.
Yeah. What about in the group of us that really want to make more money? Like we're in business to make money.
Oh,
So you talk about how our self-image can reflect the money that we actually make. How does that work? How do I become better and to make more money?
mm, that's a great question. So first, I'd like to define what self-image is for people that have never heard about self-image. So self-image is pretty much an idea of how you see yourself. That idea, that image is in your subconscious mind. It controls everything you do. It controls how much money you earn. It controls what kind of relationship you're in. It controls where you live, what car you drive. It controls everything. But it's subconscious, meaning you're not consciously aware of it. But I think a lot of people can relate. Think about a time where you feel like you always attract the same people, same type of people. You always attract, maybe it's good or bad, right? Sometimes people they attract things that are not good, and they're like, oh my God, why am I always attracting this? It's because that's the self-image that's controlling the attraction. Okay. And when it comes to money, your self-image, it's like a thermostat in a house, for example. So a thermostat, if it's set at a certain degrees, like 70 degrees, if the temperature outside goes down, the thermostat will turn on. It's automatic. So we're conditioned. So look at your results. Okay. We'll talk about 2020. Your results in 2020, how much money you made. Let's just say you made 50K, for instance. Your self-image will make sure that you earn 50K every year, ongoing, and not a big jump. Okay. It's going to be consistent with that. So if you want to earn more money, Swire, and everybody else that's listening, you have to first up your self-image. So an example is our phone, right? We always upgrade our phone, right? Every time when a new version comes out, we upgrade, right? But when was the last time you upgraded your self-image, right? So I call it the self-image 2.0. You 2.0. When are you going to upgrade you? So you have to first upgrade yourself to become that person who is already earning whatever amount of money you want to earn, and start acting like that person.
Mm. I read a book before. Sorry, everyone, I forgot the name of it. And similar concept, but in a more material way. The author said that if you want to be wealthy, put a lot of money in your wallet. Don't spend it, but just put the money in there. And also, treat yourself one time to a fancy restaurant, and do not order chicken, because chicken is what normally the lowest price on the menu. Order steak. Order something seafood. Then the experience is, find out how a wealthy should behave, and then you go step backwards. How and what do you need to do in order for you to go to a fancy restaurant and order seafood or steak every time?
Yes.
Then you work backward, and then the step. Also, these may be things that we do, and these are something that we don't do. So if I have money in the pocket, these are what the area I could spend and how I can do it. So I think, do you agree that working it reversely sometimes will help people visualize it better?
Okay. So it's very interesting you put that way, because of what I know, to me, it's actually not the reverse. To me, it's actually, that's the way to be. So I have a different formula. It's called be, do, have. Traditionally, we're learned to do, right? Then I can have something, then I can be happy, right? That's not the right way. You actually have to be first. So if you want to have a lot of money, for example, let's just say if you want to become a millionaire, okay, I think that's the thing. So we're just going to use that. You have to first become a millionaire. So how does a millionaire act? What does a millionaire do? So for instance, that's what you said, right? A millionaire, for instance, they would go to a restaurant and they would order anything they want. They would not look at the price. They will get what they want, right? So that's how they're being. So what you do is, after you find out how you be, then you do that. I mean, I'm not telling you to go to a fancy restaurant like once a week, for instance. You can go there once a month, right? Or once every couple months. Start getting a taste of how a millionaire will live, right? And you can simply put money in your wallet for sure. Hundreds of dollars. Okay, I do that. Right? It's just becoming of who I am. So after you be and you do the things, then you can have the experiences.
I love that. Another way, if people really don't want to spend money and be millionaire per se, think about, if you just say, I want to give, half of my money to nonprofit every year. So that's another way to think it. How am I able to do that? How am I able to pick the organization that I like, donate money without thinking, am I going to break the bank? You could do it that way. There's, we're just suggesting one way. A restaurant is easy. We all like nice food, but then you could do nonprofit, or maybe find a thing that you're passionate about, but then work it down. And I think another way that, Amy, like you suggest, is if you interact with people that are already above you, who are you trying to be, then you can imitate them. Maybe there are experience, or there are certain ways that they talk and behave themselves that you could upgrade yourself to, right?
Absolutely.
So like using a phone analogy, if I see my son's phone is so much faster than I do, he can run so many apps at the same time. Maybe I need to update my phone and to be at the same level. Oh, this is what he can do. So I'm doing that. So because I can now have a later phone and upgrade myself.
Yes, absolutely. So we are the 5 people who we surround ourselves with, right? So if you are not able to connect with people that are in that level yet, for instance, what you can do, you can actually research, right? You can Google those people that you admire and then write down their characteristics, their traits that you like, and you can start emulating. For instance, if you love someone who is always persistent, right? Or so confident, pick one trait and start embody that person. Confidence, right? You can start embodying that. So that's one way of how to upgrade your self-image as well.
Okay, I think it brings us down to the final question. I think it's important. You talk about quantum leap. So this is not something that come out of a Marvel movie, but then that's in a journey. Can you let us know how we can make that leap?
Yes. So I like to define what quantum leap means, so people can understand. So a quantum leap is actually a massive jump. Okay, so we're used to gradual progression, like 3%, 5% increase. That's not a quantum leap. A quantum leap is like I said, massive, out. Okay, so from here to here. So think of in terms of income. So I know a lot of business owners are on the calls. Is that if you can turn your annual income, whatever it is, into your monthly income, that's a quantum leap. Have you ever thought about that? Okay, so something to think about. And I came up with 6 steps to quantum leaping that I'd like to share with you and your audience, actually, Swire. So if I can just share with them that if they text me the word gifts to my cell phone number, it's 714-477-5636. I can actually send them 6 videos that I made that show them step by step on how to create a quantum leap.
I'll definitely include in the show notes, Amy, and never thought about that. If I can make monthly what I made yearly, then yeah, that's a big jump.
Right? And here's the mindset again, right? If we become what we think about, we never thought about that. Never, right? So I heard about this term actually from my mentor, Bob Proctor, about 2 years ago. When he said that, I'm like, no way, like what? Like that just blew my mind, right? Because I was not consciously aware of such concepts. But once I became aware, then I strived towards it, and I did. I actually turned my annual income into my monthly income.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a process. Okay, I'm not saying it's gonna happen overnight. Okay, it's a process. But at least I wanted to give your audience actually the thought, like to even think about that. That's a quantum leap. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you strategically put it on to your goal, then you can work backwards. How much more maybe product and services that you need to sell, or what kind of clients, or what kind of implementation that you have in your business. So it could be achievable, but then you're thinking a lot of bigger, what kind of tools that I need. Maybe I need a bigger space, or hire more employees to be able to do that. So you actually giving them a good exercise, to dream big. Maybe you have a product. Obviously, you want more people to use your product and services. So that's really force you to write down and plan how you're able to do that, in writing.
Yes, yes. Just like setting a goal, right? The purpose of setting a goal is for you to grow, right? So when I give you the idea, then people start turning, their minds start turning, they start thinking like, oh, okay, I never thought about that. But once they start thinking about that, then that's how they attract all the ideas. This is really how the mind works.
Yeah, that's a really good tip, and thank you, Amy, for putting that on there. So if people do want to reach out to Amy and learn more about the quantum leap, do that. And Amy, what else? How else can the viewer and listener get in touch with you?
Sure. I'm on social media, Facebook, Instagram. It's just Opulent Academy. As you can see my banner, so that's my company. And yeah, you can feel free to reach me there, or I provided my cell phone number. So if anyone that wants to get in touch with me, I think Swire, you'll put the information down below. So it's my direct cell phone number. They can reach out.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amy. I learned a lot today, and I really do think about, if I can do that, what do I need to do? Thank you so much, Amy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye.